Welcome to... I have to lean back here, otherwise I'm blocking out Connor. Welcome to the lazy edition of Top Beer, spelled the German way for copyright reasons. So this time, it's a little interesting. We were going to do Full Sail's Session Lager, which is... It's like a lighter American lager, but it's definitely a tier above Budweiser, Coors, all of them. And we're going to do that one against the Sam Adams Boston Lager, because I've heard so much about it. I don't know about you guys. I've never had it.
Yeah.
I've had it.
I've had it once, maybe, but I don't even remember.
Yeah.
So, I thought that would be a cool idea. Now, as it turns out, our beer superstore, known as John's Marketplace, they've got a shed load of German, Irish, English,
Czech.
everything, Czech, all the Czech, an absolute onslaught of microbrews, but they do not have Sam Adams. And then we hit two other stores looking. We had a Safeway and a Walmart looking for Sam Adams. Couldn't find it.
No.
So what we're doing instead is we're doing Session against the Stella Artois. Or Artois, or however the
Stella
fuck it's supposed
Artois,
to be pronounced. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Stella Artois, but I like calling it Stella Artois.
Stella Artois.
So, before you guys die of thirst here, let's get after it.
Stella Artois.
And we're even being classy and throwing these into... It's almost more, like, I don't know, relevant to drink these out of the can, but, you know, let's be classy in our beer reviewing.
Oh, and why are we drinking out of the can, Rudy? Instead of the bottle?
Oh, yeah, so this is an important note for anyone interested in Session, which, upon our quick Google research, you can get all over the United States. The can is 12 ounces, the bottle's only 11, so in every 12 pack, that's one extra beer, pro tip. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There we are. Definitely highly carbonated compared to the ales we've been drinking.
Oh, yeah. It's like a beer soda.
No, for real. Yeah.
It's nice, though.
It's nice. It's nice. Yeah.
Refreshing.
It's malty. There's some nice malty sweetness going on.
Yeah.
The flavor is mild.
Yeah.
But unlike, I would say, you guys tell me if you agree with this, unlike the Coors or the Budweiser we were drinking, this has the decency, although it is light in flavor, it tastes of barley malt and not this sort of corn water flavor we were getting from the Coors.
Yeah.
And, you weren't there for the Coors.
No, but I've had Coors and Budweiser before.
No, you had to be there. But yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's more flavorful. I mean, for a lighter beer, it definitely has like a pretty well-rounded flavor for sure. Makes it sippable and chuggable.
Got the malt flavor, but it doesn't have the dark malt flavor, like the burnt, burnt toasted.
Well, there's nothing but pale malt.
Yeah, for sure. Also, not really a hop's edge either. There's a little bitterness, but not like a hop bitterness.
It's not like summer hop.
Oh yeah. There's no. I'd go as far as to say there's no leading hop flavor whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just enough to make it crisp.
Yeah.
Because it's malty, and you know what? It's pretty rich.
It is rich.
Yeah, if you're used to American lagers, Budweiser and the like, this is a lot more rich.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's good.
The Scrooge McDuck lagers.
I guess technically the Coors Banquet is a lager as well. I guess there's
variety. There's a difference. The difference.
The best.
The difference between American style lagers and other lagers is American style lager. And I covered this in the. I'll probably just edit this part right out, but I covered this in the Budweiser Coors one. American style lager uses what they call adjunct grains, so that's something other than malted barley.
Corn,
They use rice, they use corn. Fucking, they might just throw in corn syrup for some extra sugar.
They do actually, yeah.
That's why they're so gross.
Yeah,
that is the reason.
Yeah,
that's why they're so gross.
Yeah,
it's because it's not just the pure nectar of the gods that is malted barley. So, and that's why Session. That's why when we were looking for something other than the the Boston Lager, and you were looking at like Banquet and shit. I was thinking we can't. That's
Can't compare Session to Coors Banquet. Yeah.
all right. I've got another point to make about Session.
Oh.
Now, do you recall how much the Budweiser cost? Because you brought the Budweiser, I brought the Coors when we did those two.
I mean, I feel like every time I buy Budweiser, it's like $1 a beer, just about.
Okay, well, because when I bought the Coors Banquet, it was $13.99 for the 12-pack.
I think.
And that was on sale.
Oh wow! Yeah, I think mine was like.
Now, that's the same price as Session on sale.
Wow.
Yeah, Session's way better.
So this beer is the same price as Coors Banquet. Technically, Coors Banquet should have to throw down against this beer,
That's fair.
which
Yeah.
would be just...
A beatdown.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
It'd be like one of those McGregor fights that ends with a knockout in the first round.
I was gonna say that's fitting. Yeah, well, I mean, like, yeah, maybe we should do like price, like, you know, like,
Comparison?
well, like a price, like,
We should definitely talk about bang for the buck.
well, you know, how there's like weight classes in fighting. I should do like a price classes, you know, like.
Oh,
you know,
so like the
yeah.
most costly
Like,
of beers, those are the heavyweights.
right? Yeah, yeah.
The
something
big
like
hitters.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, something like that.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
that would
Okay.
be
I mean,
interesting.
it's definitely a factor to consider, the bang for the buck.
Or
you know.
we could do that in if we did like a we were talking about doing like a full day session with like a bunch of different beers. We could do like cheap to most expensive, like, you know, like do like Walter.
Ascending order. Yeah.
ascending
That could
order.
be another one. No, I was my original idea. That would be a cool one we could do. My original idea with that is drink every major style of beer and just work our way up, starting from lagers and
Okay.
cream ales and shit.
No,
That would be
Pilsners,
interesting if you were just doing
Ale
one kind
ales,
of
amber
beer.
ales and shit, and then IPAs and
Yeah.
You
If you were
keep
doing like
going.
one kind of beer, like if you were doing lagers and then doing the price order would be cool.
yeah,
But yeah.
no, totally. Yeah, that was sick. Yeah, an idea. But yeah, session though. Fuck yeah, I love session. It's so good.
yeah, it's
It is good.
for the price. For the price, Session is fantastic. I don't buy it as much as I should for the simple reason I'm not physically capable of not sessioning Session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever I get this, it tends to disappear almost immediately.
It's
I can't
rough.
have this in the house, and I especially can't have 2-3 beers.
yeah.
Oh, never.
I can't just have like a couple of beers with dinner or after work or whatever. It always turns into at least, you know, like 4 to 6.
But specifically
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't not session.
Yeah, no, it's delicious. It's delicious.
It's good.
It simply cannot be done.
No.
All right, you guys ready for the next round?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. All right. So
Stella.
now we're on to the Stellas.
Yay, Stella.
Indeed. And you can tell it's fancy because it's got a bit of paper covering the cap.
It's
Yeah.
fucking
So-
annoying to get at.
Yeah.
That's how you.
I don't know, mine ripped off clean there.
It did. I was very
So
impressed.
Stella, I don't actually know anything about Stella because this was a last minute purchase before we record this thing. But I think you can get this all over the States because it's a Belgian beer.
Yeah.
But it's brewed in America but under license, so should taste the same, I would think. Anyway, let's just get after it.
I was gonna say we
Talk about it in
didn't
a
read
second.
the bottle for a description of the beer, but fucking
I
lagers
don't-
don't have anything.
Yeah, I don't think Session does.
It just says beer.
Yeah. Which, you know, is accurate.
Respectable.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. Oh yes, I love beer that tastes like this. Maybe it's just the stoner in me.
Did you
but,
drink it yet?
no. But I can smell it.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, that is not what I was expecting from the smell. But
I want to say it's lighter.
It is lighter.
It's lighter.
Yeah.
it's lighter and it definitely has a lot more of like a grainy, like not that grainy sounds more like a texture, but like more of a grain flavor. to
Yeah.
it, I would say.
Bready.
Bready, very bready. Yeah, no, for
Okay.
sure.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
I was expecting more skunky, like Beck's. I love Beck's because it's so skunky. Like it's got that really, and it goes really well with weed. I love that. It's great.
It's a good combo.
It goes so well. But,
1-2 punch.
no, but don't do it. But,
It's fine. What?
Do weed.
It's legal. What?
don't do it.
Do weed. Just don't do it all the time and think that that's way better than being an alcoholic.
Yeah.
But-
It's probably less damaging to your body, but
You're not better than me.
You're not better than Rudy, goddammit.
Well, here's the thing. I don't drink every day. Can you say the same about weed?
I inject marijuana every single day.
There you go.
Every single day, right into the
Intravenous.
Intravenous.
Directly into the shaft of my penis.
Yeah.
Right in there.
God.
That's where I
Can you imagine
So-
the fucking disaster?
Yeah, that's
that
my
would be?
my only thing with pot is all the people that do it all the goddamn time and they just think there's nothing wrong with that. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you're a substance abuser.
You're still
Right?
altering.
It might not be beating your body up as bad as alcohol
Right.
if you were taking it to the same, but there's negative effects of being high every single day.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's not, for starters, you can't talk right.
Oh my god.
I am a prime example of that. Apparently.
But you notice he had a
That's
beer.
awful.
He had a beer, sorted him right
Yeah,
out.
oh yeah.
We can understand
That
that.
was normal.
Now I'm
Sure, alcohol.
Well, listen, so here's what I have to do when I edit these things. What I have to do is it's basically a
Explain.
choice I can make. Is I could either have the volume set at a point where Connor and I aren't going to blow out your eardrums
This
when
is
we
rough.
laugh or have a point to make,
I'm so fucking loud.
and then turn Michael up for literally everything he
We
ever
just need
says.
to mic me up. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
we need a lapel mic.
No, but then we got this thing, and then it's gonna be weird. And then the other option is I just turn up the volume to where you can hear everyone just fine, and I just have to go through, and literally every time you laugh, I just turn it down by like 3 or 4 times, and then it's. I don't know if you've watched any of the ones
I have.
do it.
I noticed. I'm like, well, I'm not peeking the mic here. That's crazy.
Yeah, no. That's because I dialed your cackle down by about 4 times. Well, 4 times is a stretch, but yeah, I'll cut the noise.
That's great.
By like 2.5 times of its original
I
volume.
remember last time we had the mic fucking situated. I was probably the closest to it, which was a huge mistake. We didn't have Michael be the closest to it because
Yeah.
Well, to
Okay.
be fair, it's not just you. I do the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
Because when we did the Budweiser Coors episode, Tad was being a funny motherfucker the whole
Yeah.
time, and yeah, every time he said something hilarious, I would do the full-on cackle as well, and yeah, it blew out my eardrums editing, so I had to drop it again. Same thing, drop it by 2 or 3 times, so it's fit into the thing.
That's fair. Okay, so
Yeah, let's get back
Back
to
to
the
the Stella.
Back to
no,
the beer.
no,
I get it.
I like. So I'm getting a little bit more of those skunky notes
As you go.
that I'm looking for. Like, yeah, because I got it really hard on. I was gonna say in the nose. Got it really
Stuff it in
hard
there.
in the nose. But no. Like, there's definitely got like a little bit of a skunky aroma. But like Beck's and fucking Heineken kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I for some reason, maybe it's just the green bottle.
No, that's not it.
No.
That's not it.
No, I'm saying like maybe that's why I was expecting it because Beck's and
okay.
Heineken both also come
I was
in
like,
green
that's
bottles.
just not the flavor.
Yeah, the green bottle is what makes it. Yeah, the
You're
green
talking
glass.
about like a specific type of hops, aren't you?
It must
like
be.
a
Yeah.
specific type of, maybe not a specific type of hops, but a specific hop edge.
Yeah, no, for sure.
This
Like,
is
the
like a hop taste you're going
for
for.
sure.
Right?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just like a skunky instead of like.
I know what you're talking
it's like
about.
a
I
skunky
can't
hop.
quite put it. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is either, but I know what you're talking about.
I want to say this one's a little bit hoppier, but I'm not sure it's the hops.
It's
It
not
might-
really that. Like, it
it
doesn't
might-
have that hops edge. It's not like bitter.
No. It might be what you guys were saying, like it's a little bit more dry and bready.
Yeah, dry is definitely yeah.
It is more dry.
Yeah, right?
Dry,
and it's not, so it might not, I want to say it's got
It's
more
like
hops,
champagne.
but maybe it's not, maybe it's not the hops at all.
Yeah, maybe it's not.
Maybe
I
it
don't know.
isn't. But it is, I'd say it's, I want to say it's a bit more crisp.
I would definitely say a bit
Yeah.
more crisp. Yeah, this is a little bit like I would say maltier.
I have a hard time.
Oh, it's definitely
Yeah,
malty.
definitely malty.
I have a hard time
Or
telling
maybe it's just, sorry, we keep cutting off.
no, it's fine. I was gonna say I have a hard time telling how crisp it is by itself. Like the other one was pretty crisp too. Like Session was pretty crisp.
Well,
so
that's the beauty of the back-to-back.
right, that's what I'm saying. Like for now,
Yeah.
I feel like because I'm currently drinking this, it feels more crisp. But,
Yeah.
but maybe with them both, like
That's
maybe
it.
I'll be like, oh, this one's
Oh.
better.
Did I burp over your point? I'm sorry, man.
That was good. Thank you.
Oh, so I got a couple of friends who they're like
No, you don't.
my focus. 1, 2.
Okay, fuck.
That's a couple right there.
Video evidence.
Yeah. Video evidence. I have at least 2 friends.
We're a couple.
Yeah. La
Good over there?
bière fine des Luges.
Is it Malty?
600 years. Yeah. Un petit peu. Je peux parler le français un petit peu.
Shit.
Yeah, I live in
Rudy Blitzkrieg now.
I live in
Okay, you know what? I'll do the still on this one.
Stella.
Stop! Team limit wins.
Yeah. I'm so lonely.
Who's got the thing?
So lonely. Feel like I'm trapped in a cage.
There
It's
is no
silly.
one, just me.
Yeah. It's filling my body with rage. Yeah.
My favorite part of that movie is the 1.5 minute long sex scene.
Oh, it's so good.
Between the fucking puppets.
I'll never forget your dad warning us that you can't unsee it. I will never forget that.
When we were in 5th grade or
We
whatever.
watched that with your dad. We watched that and we watched fucking South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut with your dad, too.
No, you got in trouble for both those times. From other people's parents. They were like, why did you show our kids?
Oh, it's so great.
If it's your son, it's fine. But
Shut up to Greg.
Oh my god, it's so good. Yeah, no, that man had us melting down lead pipes in the backyard. The blowtorch.
So now we are doing the one and the other at the same time.
Hell yeah.
Don't break Michael's table.
It's alright.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Alright.
They look the same.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot to say about lagers as far as color difference.
Mm-hmm.
Look good.
Except for the Stella is slightly colder because it's making more.
Are you noticing a difference in head?
Because
I'm not, really.
No, both of these.
Yeah.
That's a lager thing. No lager I've ever had keeps a head particularly well.
Oh,
So
by the way,
let's just
Quick
get
cheers.
the niceties out of the way here so we start drinking.
Go.
So these beers, though.
Oh, right. We're drinking.
Again, just give it a little bit of pause. We just need a few seconds. Hey, are you gonna edit this? Then don't bitch about it. Do you have any idea how difficult it is?
You're gonna be a great husband. Are you gonna fucking clean this?
Okay, we might have to keep that.
Do you have any idea? Yeah.
But just in case we don't, we'll give it a brief pause,
Yeah.
and we'll get back to it.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright.
You're gonna say about the beer.
Just beer, yeah. So beer. Yeah. Let's do a little sippy sip of each. So wait, I feel like I'm the
we've been
only
doing
loser that has, because it is slightly darker. The
I think, yeah, you're right. We both had ours in the same one.
Sessions on the left, Stella on the right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Cool. So Stella or Session. Nope.
Station.
I've got Session in the excessively large glass.
So yeah, heavier, I would say, maltier.
Still pretty crisp, though.
Still crisp. I was literally
Yeah.
you took the words out. Yeah,
It finishes well.
Like you say
Bullshit.
heavier, but it's really not that heavy. I mean,
It's not
we're comparing.
heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavier. Yeah, I would say.
It's the more fuller bodied lager, but that's among lagers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but the Stella, I mean, back to back of this almost tastes like nothing. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, really?
Like back to back, like.
wait, what you drinking right now?
Stella?
Well, you're saying the Stella doesn't taste like anything after drinking the Session.
Yeah, it kind of melts into the session.
Are you guys ready for the boring information?
Oh,
thing?
yeah! Shit, I forgot we were doing this last now.
I gotta. No, we're not doing it last necessarily. This is just when
how
I
it ends
remembered that I need to.
Okay, yeah, cool. Let's hear it.
I think we've gone into a. Let me put my beer down before I just start drinking again. So
Could help.
lagers. What is a lager?
With the trees and shit.
I know you just had a few trees earlier today, but that's not what we're talking about.
That's a grade A ad joke right there. Okay, so moving on, so I can try and knock this out in a halfway timely fashion. You know how I get.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Yeah, you will.
So lagers, there's basically two major styles of beer. Now they overlap a bit, as is generally the rule, but there's essentially two big groups of beer, and all beers can be put into one or the other.
Sure.
Lagers and ales. And the difference is, lagers are cold fermented, and ales are fermented at essentially room temperature. I think the range is like 58 to 90 degrees or something, or 98, something crazy high.
Mm-hmm.
But ales basically fermented at room temperature. Lagers fermented at very cold temperatures, almost freezing. And the inventors of the lager, I'm sure this doesn't surprise you, the Germans, the Bavarians to be specific.
Yeah, not a shock.
Yeah, and that's actually the word lager is a German word, and it's like a place to store things. It's not necessarily a basement, but any place where you store things is a lager.
Lager.
Yeah.
The English word larder, I'm wondering if that's the same.
Could be.
Know.
Maybe there's a connection. There's a lot of connections between
Very
the
possible.
Germanic and English language. And how they originally came up with it is they noticed that if they had in Bavaria they had a type of yeast that would continue working at very cold temperatures, probably by accident, to be honest.
Yeah.
And essentially, what they did back in the day was they would brew these beers in the late fall and winter, and then they would just store them in caves, and they'd cover them in ice and shit, and just leave them for a couple of months. And then in the spring, they drink them, and they notice that it really, because apparently you get a lot of flavors during your fermentation process, and this really mellows out the flavor of your beer. And that's why, so like we're drinking these beers, no assertive flavors coming up, are they?
Yeah,
right?
no,
They're just, that's kind of what makes them so drinkable.
Yeah, they're pretty chill.
They're mellow, there aren't any harsh assertive flavors. With ales, a lot of them, that's not really a big deal because they're generally more flavorful beers to begin with. You probably wouldn't notice these side effects, but it just smooths them out. It just makes them tastier. Well, so that's how the Bavarians discovered it, and that's essentially what. And there's a lot of styles of lager.
Oh,
like
yeah.
There's dark lager and whatnot, and there's a lot of styles of lager that you wouldn't think would be lagers, because when you think lager, you think, well, the two beers we're drinking right now, you think pale, gold.
Yeah.
You
There's
know,
definitely variety, though. Yeah.
no roasty flavor, just good old-fashioned drinkable beer.
So lager is defined by the yeast? Is that what I'm understanding? What kind of
By the
yeast?
fermentation process.
Okay.
And it is, well, they also call it like bottom fermenting and top fermenting.
Oh, right. I've heard that before.
Because the yeast in lagers will sink to the bottom. But it will like keep working, so they call it bottom fermenting. Whereas if you're brewing an ale, when all the yeast sink to the bottom, they're dead. They're not doing their thing anymore. So ale yeast only work at room temperature. Oh, also, the thing about lagers is this cold fermentation. It is a way to prevent the beer from spoiling. Okay. Because it's fermented cold. Also, just to prevent like bacteria from getting in there and doing its thing and ruining your beer. And so originally when they were brewing lagers, and this kind of carries over to today, is one of the things they noticed was if they did this cold fermentation, they didn't need nearly as many hops to keep the beer stable. Okay. So one of the advantages was we don't need to hop the hell out of our beer to keep it from souring too quick if we brew it in the lager fashion.
Interesting.
And they also figured out that they could, they could brew it to be lighter in alcohol as well, because high alcohol also helps prevent the souring.
Right.
So you could brew a lighter alcohol, lesser hopped beer that was, well, like these two, drinkable and sessionable, and you can have a lot of them.
And there we go.
Yay!
Okay. So now we're gonna do our best. It's a tall order, but we're gonna do our best to try and figure out which one of these we prefer.
Is this a first for one more round of the doubler?
No, it isn't.
It's not?
It's the first time we've required one more round to decide.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay. Understandable. Because
Oh, yes.
these are so close. Like,
Oh yeah.
they're both really solid, is what I'm trying to say. They're both very good. And I'm having a hard time figuring out which one is better.
Well, we are going to drink these beers, and we're going to figure it out. Cheers, John.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Alright.
Damn, it's tasty.
I think you can tell a difference between the two, looking at them now. I think this one, the session's a little darker.
The session's definitely a little darker and a little bit
Seems
more
like-
flavorful.
Damn, it's tasty.
I mean, I don't know, yeah, at this point, like,
Yeah.
they're both good.
All right, Michael, you haven't figured it out yet?
I mean, I'm definitely leaning one way, but I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
Unless we're doing that right now.
I mean,
We're
right now.
about
We're
to
about
get
to.
to it.
Okay.
I'm making up my own mind.
Okay,
I was
yeah.
just checking on you. See how you're doing.
You've decided?
I'm leaning.
Okay,
I'm
you
leaning.
decided.
I'm leaning.
Jeez.
Yeah. So we're back.
Go for it.
Beer.
Yeah, take it away.
Go for it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm leaning strongly.
Strongly?
This time towards session. I just feel like it's a little bit more flavorful. The drinkability is pretty similar. I would say, like the
Evenly
session-
matched.
Evenly matched. The Stella isn't significantly more drinkable than the session, and the session just has like a little bit more flavor, a little bit more depth. That malty flavor we were talking about earlier. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I gotta go more for the session. Even though I would say, like we were saying earlier, the Stella, I think most people just face value would say that the Stella is better. But I gotta say, as far as flavor, the session is it's got me for sure.
All right.
Connor?
Well, yeah. I think I'm gonna echo Michael here. I think I like the session more. I think there's nothing wrong with the Stella. In fact, I do enjoy the Stella. I do enjoy the Stella quite a bit. But I think I like the session more. I think I like the maltiness more. I like malt a lot. I like the maltiness more. I like the. It's just got more. Here we go again. It's just got more going on. It's got more going on, and that makes me like it more. Like the Stella's just got like a strong. It's got decent middle. It's not even a strong middle. It's got decent middle, and then it's just. I don't know, man. It's like fucking. It's not much stronger than a PBR. Let's be real. It's not like it's not. So like I don't know. I do like. I am enjoying the session more. So Rudy, what are you feeling?
All right. Well, I am going to third that motion. I would agree once again. The session is, well, it's richer. You know, it's a little bit maltier. It's richer, more full-bodied. These are both lagers we're talking about, of course, so it's still a very light, drinkable beer, but it's richer, it's maltier. The Stella is good. It's got kind of like a nice dry finish, which I like.
For sure.
But to be honest, I just have a Pilsner.
Yeah,
It's
got a Pilsner.
It's got a little bit of some Pilsner
energy.
characteristics,
Yeah.
but they're not particularly strong. So
Yeah.
I would just go straight for the Pilsner.
It's kind of weird in between of a lager and a Pilsner, isn't it?
That's kind
Yeah.
of what it tastes like. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might even be the malt,
Maybe.
let alone the hops. But I mean, the Stella is still a very nice drinkable beer. You could drink the fuck out of it all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I mean,
It's tried and true, man.
Yeah.
the session, named correctly,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
it just washes right down your gullet, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure does.
You just want to keep drinking it, and it, it's got just enough hops to stay crisp, but it's mostly just malty and a little bit sweet. But you just want to keep pouring it down you, and that is kind of the point of lager, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the session beer, as appropriately named by Full Sail's Session. The other fuck.
Session.
So, yeah.
Session.
Session all around, I think. Solid.
Session is
Hood
is
River
the champion.
Brew.